Hello there. A political crisis is raging in Italy. After 17 months in office, the end has been heralded for Prime Minister Mario Draghi. On Thursday, he submitted his resignation within a few days, or the second resignation within a few days, and this time President Sergio Mattarella accepted it. From tomorrow, nothing will be the same, said ex-Prime Minister Matteo Renzi of the Italia Viva splinter party when it was indicated on Wednesday, after a vote of no confidence in Parliament, that Draghi would take this step. The day has now come, and the worst fears of many in Italy, but also in the EU, are coming true. Foreign Minister Luigi Di Maio found that the future of the Italians had been gambled away. The consequences of this tragic election will go down in history, he said. I'm sorry for how I said that. Italy threatens to sink into political chaos just in a summer in which the country is already plagued by historic drought and great heat, blazing forest fires, increasing numbers of infections and deaths in the corona crisis, and the consequences of the war in Ukraine with extreme energy and raw material prices. But what does the political turmoil mean for Italy, and what does it mean for the EU? Actually, his legislature would have lasted until spring 2023. But as I said on Thursday, Mario Draghi went to the Quirinale Palace again, and there President Mattarella accepted the Prime Minister's resignation. The government will initially remain in office for current business. The palace announced this in Rome also on Thursday. Italy's ruling coalition was fractured on Wednesday when three of Draghi's key partners in the multi-party alliance rejected a confidence vote he called to try to heal divisions and also rebuild the fractured alliance. So that was not a good move, obviously. Now there are two options. The head of state could look for an expert or a politician to form a government majority. However, it's more likely that Mattarella will dissolve the two chambers of parliament and thus call for early elections, which is nothing new in Italy. Mattarella has already summoned the two speakers of parliament to his office and to discuss this. A corresponding notification refers to Article 88 of the Italian Constitution. It says in paragraph 1, "The President of the Republic may dissolve the chambers or one of them after hearing their presidents." If Parliament is dissolved, new elections must be held no later than 70 days later. The most likely date is October 2nd, and it would just be weeks before a government is, the government is formed. And this Mediterranean country is now threatened with months of political standstill. That's fatal for Italy, say many observers. After all, Italy had flourished under Draghi, also known as Super Mario, and was doing well economically, and thanks to its successful vaccination campaign, became a role model in the corona pandemic and not the problem child. And last but not least, Italy seemed to shed its decade-long chaos image. But that's over now. The country actually needs reforms, and numerous new regulations are long overdue. Many of these are likely to be on hold, and that with far-reaching consequences. Some are the condition for the EU to release the around 220 billion euros in grants and loans that Brussels has promised to Italy as part of the reconstruction fund. For the second EU tranche of 19 billion, some reforms would have to be implemented in the second half of 2022. Is that even possible in the midst of a looming election campaign that, given recent events, is likely to be heated up? Well, a perfect storm is threatening, writes the EU Commissioner and former Prime Minister Paolo Gentiloni on Twitter. Parliament also has to plan the budget for the coming year, which usually takes a long time. In the current situation, there will most likely be no budget by the end of the year, believes Lorenzo Codogno, head of LC Macro Advisors. This is a serious blow to Italy's ability to implement policies and reforms in the near future, said the former senior Italian finance ministry official. And that's really not a good thing. During the tenure of former ECB President Draghi, the image of the heavily indebted Mediterranean country improved on the financial markets. An election campaign could have negative consequences if, for example, investors are deterred by the uncertainties. Italian bonds and stocks fell sharply on Thursday. But many political commentators see gloomy times for Italy not only for a transitional period until the next government is formed, because at the moment the Fratelli d'Italia, which means Brothers of Italy, are ahead in the polls, a right-wing extremist and post-fascist party. Draghi, who ruled with a multi-party alliance, was the only significant party not to have this in government. He did not have them in government. And this could form a legal alliance together with the Lega and Forza Italia, which would be a very right-wing government then. The party leader of the Brothers of Italy, Giorgia Meloni, appeared in good spirits and ready to take over the government on Wednesday evening, just minutes after the crushing confidence vote against Draghi. "I have my ideas about how this country should be governed," they said at an event in Rome. Meloni, a former member of a neo-fascist party, has been Italy's most popular politician for months after Draghi. "If everything goes well, it will be possible to vote within 2 months. We are ready," said the politician. Well, that would also be a bad sign for Brussels. A Meloni government is unlikely to cause enthusiasm among European partners. Both the Fratelli and the Lega have criticized the European Union in the past and suggested leaving the common currency. Even if the anti-EU rhetoric has cooled off a bit recently, without Draghi, Italy lacks an important guarantor of stability in Europe. The former head of the European Central Bank enjoys a great reputation around the world. Now Italy could lose its influence promoted by Draghi. He had raised his country to an equal footing with Germany and France in many areas, which was manifested not least in the joint visit to Kiev with Chancellor Olaf Scholz and President Emmanuel Macron. So at the moment, I'm really sorry for my Italian friends out there, because it looked so good for Italy until last Wednesday, and I'm really sorry to see that happening now. I'll see you in my next video. Ich komme wieder.